Good morning, guys. Okay, so I did click go live. Well, the some of you guys that attended the session last night, congrats, right? And for the ones that were not able to attend, we'll post the link in our premium chat and the sessions tab on our Discord for the premium members, and you guys can watch it, and you can also probably see it on our YouTube channel as well once it's uploaded, right? Some of the knowledge that we share, the sessions that we do, we try to do that for everyone, right? We believe like that kind of knowledge is free, so we try to share with everyone, right? So I hope you guys, premium members, you're okay with that, right? Giving out knowledge sometimes is good for everyone, and some things I do want to go over today based on the last week's action and what exactly happened before you guys get too bulled up. It's good to be bullish right now for some time, right? But for how long, right? But first, let's go to SPX. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. In the last 2 hours, we had this nice little rally, a huge rally all the way from 43.30 all the way up to 44.30. That's 100 points. This is when options went from 1 to 30, or 2,000, 3,000% happened in the last 1 hour. Now, you guys need to know something, right? You guys need to know something. When FOMC happens, right, the best time to take lottos, okay? When FOMC happens, FOMC, or OPEX, around then monthly expiries, right? Monthly expiries. These are a few things that you need to understand on the FOMC days, Wednesdays. And then we have option expiries, which is the monthly expiries, right? And then we have quad witching, which happens 4 times in a year. All right. On these days, sometimes depending on how the market is, there's something called Vanna Full or Vanna Rally that comes in, right? This, what you guys saw here that day, this rally, basically what happened was a lot of put covering happened where people were short, market makers were they're hedging, right? And then when they close their puts, there's a lot of stock buying that goes on in the last 1 hour. All right, a lot of stock buying goes on, which causes the rally, which causes the market to go up. Okay, and now if we go on the daily chart of the SPX, I don't want to move my these levels. I just have them drawn. We everything looks like a bottoming pattern. One can argue this is a bear flag, also, right? But currently, right now, based on certain gamma reports, some things I read a lot more, right? There's a good chance that we do revisit back to this 4600. We're not just gonna go down in a straight line unless we get some really negative news, like a major crash news. We can go straight down. All right. Now the difference here is we came down, we got this leg. Now we're probably gonna go up a little bit here. We're probably going to go towards this 4600 zone. We're probably going to go towards this 4500, 4600 zone. And then we see what happens. And then from this zone, which will be, I think, in mid-Feb or sometime in Feb, I don't know the exact date, I wish I knew, right? There's a good chance we're going to come test this support of 4300. So I hope you guys are, I'm going over this chart just on the side. We will come visit 4300 as per the trends, as per the technicals, right? I could be completely wrong, but this is just based on historical trends that happen, and they're usually accurate. All right, we're probably going to come back and test 4300 again sometime in March, and we're probably going to break lower than 4300, and that's when we're going to get our correction all the way into this territory of 3800, 3900, which is roughly right here. And this is not going to come all at once. This is probably going to come sometime in March, April, around these months, I believe. All right, so right now we will get some upside towards 4500, 4600, and then we'll probably come back down again. What do I mean by this? If I go on one chart, for example, AMD, right, a nice little discount all the way from 163 and 107. This is a very good support to be playing some calls, in my opinion. This is a very good stock at this price right here. I think it's a great place to be buying some calls with a target price of around roughly 120, 125. Right, I think AMD sees these levels now before it continues lower. If it continues lower, there's no guarantee it's going to come lower. Maybe the market sees a V-shaped recovery. Fed announces something, maybe they take off the rates, maybe they'll announce something, who knows. Maybe we go right back to 4800 on SPX and all-time highs. That's possible, right? I don't know if that's going to happen, but based on the information I have right now, based on that. All right, and to play these markets right now, and now I'm going over AMD, you can pretty much compare this with any chart in the market right now. They all look similar, about similar action. You can do something called vertical spreads. Vertical call spreads. All right. Now, personally, I won't be doing much, but if you guys want spreads, if you guys want these, I always alert only something I buy. If you want some alerts like this, something that I consider good myself, I can alert those, but that does not mean I'll be buying. Right? I cannot go into every position. All right. But if you guys want, I can give out some trade ideas. Hey, this is what I would do if somebody's interested, right? Because no two accounts are the same. Maybe yours is different than mine. Maybe your account is way bigger than mine. I have no idea. All right. That you can maybe handle more positions than me. Okay. But vertical call spreads, here's something that I would do. There's strong support here. I would probably buy a 105 call and sell 110 calls. Now, those of you guys that know me for a long time, I do a lot of vertical call spreads, but lately I did less because of this increased volatility. I was not doing too many spreads. There was a reason behind it, right? So I hope you guys understand. There's always a timing for something, but now the market that we have now, we're probably going to stabilize a little bit for a few weeks, right? Volatility is going to go down, which means the option pricing will go down. We had a lot of volatility last few weeks. Is something very important for you guys to understand. And now as the market rises a little bit or finds a little ground, volatility will decrease, which is going to decrease the pricing in options. All right, I'll repeat that one more time. Volatility in the coming days and coming 1-2 weeks will decrease, or at least until February 18th, the monthly expiries, and the options will get cheaper. Even if you're on the right side and you're holding, those options may not move as fast. All right, so vertical call spreads here can be a great. As long as this 105 call you buy, 110 you sell, this you can maybe get for around $2 or $2.20, and a potential here is max profits of $5, right? Which is great. So even from $2.20, if you sell at $3.50, as long as the market holds you, you make your 50-60%, right? And and if you want to understand what vertical spreads are, you can go into our sessions. We have things recorded, all right? So that's something that you guys can go over. And like LB said, yes, it's day-to-day trading now, right? So you have to really figure out, because we will get this short-term uptrend. They're probably gonna, if you guys read that one paragraph from one of the gamma reports we posted, there's a good chance all these people that went short here, like the newbies or whoever it may be, that don't understand the market, they're probably going to give a little squeeze here now, which is the market behavior. They're going to get stopped out of their shorts, then they're going to go long when it's time to go short, right? So that's how people lose money. All right, they miss the entire move and then they get into it now, right? So now the move that personally that I expect, right, we're probably going to go back up a little bit, right? Then we're going to consolidate here, we're going to come back, and then we're going to test these supports, and then slowly we're going to have a nice little one-more flush sometime later this year, whenever that happens. All right, I think it's going to happen. All right, so that's AMD for you. Qs, if I go over the SPY, right, same thing, right, same thing. Right, we have the daily MACD, which is currently, so we're likely going to see around 450, 460 on SPY, test this upper resistance right here, which is roughly 450, 460, and then I still believe that sometime later this year, this range will come, which we went over. This range will come sometime later this year, which is roughly right here. And once we test this range, and then we go up in this huge consolidation phase, and then it's time for me to get into my leaps again. So it's going to be a long time before I add any leaps right now. The only way I would add leaps right now is if I see something strong and I know that, you know what, okay, now this stock might see an uptrend, I'll add them. So leaps right now, personally, guys, I won't be adding any for some time because I don't see a long-term uptrend. I only see a short-term uptrend. All right. So I mean, you can still do leaps on certain stocks. Who knows? They find a bottom and they can give you some great returns. All right. But as SPY, I do see about 450, 455, and then all the way towards 390, 400. I think sometime this year it might happen. Can I be wrong? Of course I can be. Maybe we just continue from here, a nice little V-shaped recovery, and we keep going up. Who knows, right? Qs, same thing, same chart, right? We're probably going to see towards 370, 380, and then from these levels, we're likely going to visit this level right here, which is roughly 320, 340 area sometime later this year. All right. However, if we get above 400, we continue grinding higher. That's if we get to 400. All right. A lot of stocks like Amazon are beat up right now. There are strong support. As you guys can see, the market action is the same all around, right? And so on a macro level, the action is the same pretty much. Amazon also will see a nice little relief rally. I think it gets to 3,000, 3,200, right? Maybe even 3,300. After earnings, obviously, we see what happens. Unless they announce some sort of split, something happens, only then the stock can actually take off towards 3,600, 3,700. So earnings will be a huge tell. We do have major earnings this week. Google's on February 1st, Facebook February 2nd. We have Amazon on February 3rd, I believe, or 4th. And then we have AMD, PayPal. PayPal and AMD, I believe, are tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. Right? We posted the earnings calendar from Earnings Whispers in the chat. You can see it. And so that, right? Some stocks that I like, PayPal is really beat up, right? This is at a very strong support level right here. It's at a very strong support level, but the gap is still missing to a downside. Who knows they flushed this? I have no idea. But this is one name that can probably see back towards 190, 200, right? We might see this name, grind back towards this zone, 180, 190. You catch this $20 options move, you make your money on it. And to play PayPal, again, I'll probably buy, if I'm expecting upside, I'll probably buy 165 calls and sell the 170 calls, right? And make the spread, make it a spread. That's what personally I would play. So vertical spreads are currently back in play, all right? So PayPal, I would buy the 165, sell 170s, just for an example. Obviously, I want to see how the market reacts first today. First 15 minutes, I want to see how the market reacts. I don't want to jump in right away. Let's see what happens. Maybe they sell off the market today itself and bring the volatility back, right? If we take out the Friday lows, right? If we take out the Friday lows and we go lower, volatility is back, then you know what? Forget the upside, then they're going to take this thing down lower, all right? Across the board or on any chart. So as long as we hold the Friday lows and we stay above Friday highs, there's a good chance that we actually see more buying coming in, all right? Because right now there still hasn't been any major call flow coming in for 2023, 2024, which we were usually seeing last year, all right? So a long way before we adjust for long positions. But will you see bear market rallies? Yes, and bear market rallies are really fun to play if you catch them and then when you know when to exit. Last night in the session, we went over profit taking, when you should take your profits, according to my experience, and how you should play them, right? So in this market, you nail something for 40-50%, protect your gains, on to the next trade. In fact, if you make profits on the first trade, second, why even trade more, right? That's it. I mean, shut off your laptop, come back tomorrow, see how that action plays out. So protecting gains is a whole different skill set on its own. Somebody asked about AFRM, the niche, I believe you asked. This is a very strong pattern. This is a very, right now it's at the all-time support. So there's a good chance this bounces towards 80 bucks, at least this zone. I see just by looking at the chart says it. But can it be wrong? Of course. A stock that, at the IPO level squeezed, gave up all the gains, and then for many months based, and then it had a nice little run up, and then all of a sudden got sold off to all-time lows or near all-time lows, it's not a good thing. There's something wrong with the business, that's for sure, right? Only then this will happen. Now, will it go back towards 90, 80? Yes, but one thing I can tell you is the options are priced very heavy on this name. Another stock which will be trading around 60 bucks, let's say for example INTC or Oracle, their options will be way cheaper, but this stock's options will be 2-3 times more cheaper. Why? Because of the increased volatility, the bigger moves. All right, the only pattern that I see, if I was to draw here, is sort of a falling wedge pattern, right? That's the only pattern I see here, and there's a good chance that this breaks through here and you get the nice little spike towards this 80 bucks, right? As long as this zone is held, all right? So and however you want to draw this, it doesn't matter, right? You'll probably get 80 bucks. Again, this is a great name. I think if you want to play to the upside, you can do vertical spreads on this. I think most names right now are vertical spread plays, right? You hold about 60 bucks and then see. Personally, I'm going to trade less this week. Reason being is I want to see Facebook, Google, and Amazon earnings and how they react on earnings and how the market holds, right? Because February monthly expirations will be really important, right? If I go on the monthly chart of, let's say for example, SPY, right? If I go on the monthly chart here, I do want to show you guys something. So we had this entire month move, which took out the last 4 or 5 months out, right? There's a good chance that we consolidate in the lower retracement of this candle, right? We consolidate in the lower retracement of this candle, right? Something like this. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying something like this is going to happen. This was a big move down, but who knows, right? Anything is possible. We'll retrace last month's action maybe towards 450, 460 like we said, and then we might even head lower later on in February, all right? Once they give you a nice little green week, next week, people are buying call, all these retail traders are getting sucked in, and then we're going to see some put buying maybe, who knows, and then much lower towards this move right here on a monthly basis, all right? And by then the 50 MA will also catch up, we might consolidate for a bit, and then we go higher, where something like this is also possible, right? Just the possible scenarios. In Feb, we retrace a little bit, we consolidate, and then in March, we go lower. Or something along these lines, what I'm trying to say, all right? Or maybe we go up a little bit and then head lower this month alone. I think it depends. Let's see the types of news they give us, right? They will, and trust me, they're going to use this Russia-Ukraine news, I believe, because that's what I see in the market right now, right? COVID news are not really helping the market no more, or is not causing weakness either. So COVID might even just pass by in the next few months and nobody might even talk about it, right? I mean, I have no idea. But right now, there's a lot more going on. So let's see how this behaves, and we'll go on from there. XLF, I bought some puts with some time because I do see some top action forming here, and we might get a nice little move down. I took some profits on JPM last week on my weekly expiries, and now I have puts which are expiring February 18th and some in April. I added some time in case in short term I don't get my weakness, right? But financials, I do see some weakness in the coming months, right? And if we see this where we broke out, we gave us support, and this is not a good action. This basically reminds me of Amazon chart where XLF might end up failing towards 35 on technicals as well. This week maybe financials hold green. I have no idea. So my further out plays that I have on financials, I'm just gonna hold them as they are. I'm not gonna, they can even act as a hedge in my portfolio, but just we'll hold them and then we'll manage them accordingly if I need to average down or not. All right. So that's my whole play on financials. Under the, as long as by the end of the week we close under 39 or under this zone right here, I will be okay holding through, because then we'll probably get a move down all at once. As long as we hold this zone right here, roughly below 39. Let's see how this plays out based on this. Mastercard, Tonka, you asked for Mastercard. Yes, Mastercard weekly is very impressive. This chart is very impressive on the weekly. It looks super bullish to me, I'm not gonna lie, right? But I think as long as we hold the 380, we can see much lower. Their earnings were robust, their earnings were great, but don't be surprised if it gets sold off again. All right, it might come down this week maybe, right? Yash always says inverse head and shoulders, it might form on the weekly, but the weekly looks strong. As long as 380 is held, we continue higher. 380 is held, we continue higher. Under 380, 360 still possible again. Alright, that's my take on Mastercard. So if you're asking me if I will buy calls or puts here, it's a very tough area for me to decide, right? It's very hard because it's right at resistance, and around this area 380, right, it usually gets consolidated. Mastercard is one chart that sets up really well and then it fails and it does unexpected moves. All right, but Yash, you guys nailed this last week. Please on Mastercard, congrats. But here Mastercard, the only thing I can say is 380 held, we continue higher, and under 380, 360 is possible. But here it's in a very tough zone. So let's see how the market behaves. If the market holds, if the market even holds, gives strength, Mastercard can probably break out. All right, so let's see. And if the market is weak, then obviously Mastercard will probably show weakness along with it. Okay. And the only last thing I can say, guys, protect gains. Not every day is a trading day. Today you want to see the first 15 minutes how the market reacts, and never chase the first 5 minutes. All right, because if you get stuck on the wrong side, because that's just how the market behaves, those options go down by a lot. Some of you guys end up trading in the first 5 minutes, because by seeing one green candle you get too excited, and then the next 10 minutes it reverses, right? So be careful, protect your gains, and go small in this market. Vertical spreads is something that you want to learn. You will thank me later on if you're not comfortable with vertical call spreads. It's something you should look into and something that you should learn. All right. So let's see how the week goes, and manage well. We'll be live on voice chat as usual every day. No need to rush into anything, right? Anything is possible in the markets. All right. The only thing I would do is scale in small into equity plays. Scale in small in case the market does put in the bottom here and we consolidate. At least on equity you don't lose money, right? So equities is something that you can probably scale in small for long term, and this long term is not a short, because if in the next 4 months we get lower prices, you can add a little bit more to bring the average down, and then in 2024 2025 you could be laughing, you could be sitting up 60 70 80% up on equity alone. All right, and thank you so much. Pankaj, HD and Nvidia, I'll go over quickly. Home Depot, a nice little sell-off. Again, it probably consolidates towards the 380. There's a weekly chart, and then we probably see lower again on Home Depot, right? Yep. There's not much here, guys. The same chart with everything. That was a huge sell-off, right? To the downside at the 50 MA. As long as if it holds above 365, I think you can do vertical spreads on HD. Nvidia, same thing, bounced off the 50 MA, nice little reversal candle. We'll probably visit 270 on Nvidia, I think 250, as long as 235 is held, 250, 265, and then around these Nvidia, I'll drive you the weekly chart right now. I think I'll be right on this. It's gonna go here, it'll consolidate, and then it's gonna come down. That's my prediction on Nvidia. All right, it's gonna come here, go up towards 260, 270, it'll consolidate, it'll give a setup to the upside, and then it's gonna come down unexpectedly. That's what's going to happen in Nvidia. That's what I see happening here in the coming weeks. This is towards March, April. And thank you guys. I'll see you guys back in the chat, and protect gains, remember.